Hey guys, Enzo Flojo here, and this is the Mabuhay Basketball Podcast, the only show that brings you the latest scoop on everything basketball here in the Philippines. Whether you're a diehard fan, a casual observer, or just looking for some good old-fashioned hoop talk, you've come to the right place. So whether you're a fan of the PBA, the UAAP, the NCAA, Gilas, or any other league in the Philippines, we've got you covered. And if you're just discovering the exciting world of Philippine basketball, we're here to guide you through every dunk, crossover, three-pointer, and controversial college transfer. So get ready to be entertained, informed, and inspired as we delve into the world of Philippine basketball. This is the Mabuhay Basketball Podcast. Let's talk some hoops. Hey guys, Enzo Flojo here. Medyo mas magandang gising natin ngayong umaga, magandang Sunday lunch. In the Philippines right now, it's Sunday. It's actually Mother's Day, and it's a great Sunday so far if you're a Filipino basketball fan because Gilas Men and Women had fresh bounce back wins. Okay, several days ago, of course, Gilas Men lost to Cambodia in group play, which brought them down to 1-1. They had an emphatic, I think it was a 60-point bounce back win yesterday against Singapore. It was expected, but it was still good to see our Gilas Men bounce back in a very strong way, very emphatic statement win from them. And hopefully that will carry some momentum heading into the semifinals, which is tomorrow. We don't know who the opponent will be just yet, but we'll see how that plays out. Meanwhile, on the distaff side for the women, two great bounce back wins for the women. After pretty much saying goodbye to the three-peat and losing the gold medal about 2 days ago when they lost to Indonesia, they bounced back with a win over Vietnam, very lopsided win, and a good win over Thailand just, I think, about an hour ago, Philippine time. And tomorrow, they're going to go up against, I think, Malaysia, and that will pretty much, I think, be the battle for the silver medal in the women's tournament for 5-on-5 basketball at the 2023 Southeast Asian Games in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. So today we're going to take a look at those bounce-back wins for Gilas, for both men and women. And this is going to be a relatively positive video in contrast to, I think, the last video where we said goodbye to the three-peat, where, Gilas Men lost to Cambodia, full of so much frustration because of what's been happening there and the fact that a lot of people feel that the hosts really stacked the deck in their favor, which is not a violation of any rule, pero medyo it still makes a mockery or a farce of the spirit of the SEA Games as many people see it. Okay, but for now, let's focus on the positives. And the positives so far for Gilas women revolve around their two bounce-back wins. If you look at the standings, right here, you have the Philippines already in second place with 4 wins against 1 loss. They're tied with Malaysia, also with the exact same win-loss record. Indonesia at 6-0, they beat Cambodia yesterday. They're going to face Singapore, which is the only winless team. Okay, to close out their tournament, and definitely Indonesia is going to win that game even if their 2 imports don't play. Okay, they should win that game easy. So if you're Indonesia, congratulations, you pretty much have the gold medal wrapped up already. For women's basketball, I think it's the very first gold medal in the Southeast Asian Games for Indonesia for their women's team. So it's an historic win for Indonesia, an historic tournament for them. Good for them. It'll be a little tougher to defend it in 2025 because the hosts will be Thailand. We're expecting that they'll probably be a little stricter with the eligibility requirements. And Thailand will definitely play better at home. And I'm pretty sure that the Philippines will be even stronger. 2 years from now, in 2025, when Thailand hosts the games, presumably in Bangkok. Okay, so the Indonesia pretty much has the gold medal wrapped up, and with only 1 day left, no, it's really between Philippines and Malaysia when we're talking about the silver medal. No? And the other teams, Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, they have no more chance to finish on the podium. Okay, it's really these three teams, so Indonesia, Philippines, and Malaysia, who are assured of medals already in 5-on-5 basketball for women. So the last two games for the Philippines. No? So after this 21-point defeat at the hands of Indonesia, we bounced back yesterday big time, beating Vietnam by 58 points. We doubled their score. Kate Castillo, amazing, 22 points for her. Jack and Imam with a double-double there. We're going to look at the numbers later. And then just today, just about an hour ago, the Filipinas beat Thailand 82-70. It was a much more competitive game against Thailand, where we won every quarter, but not by much. No, we won first quarter by 6, second quarter by 2, third quarter by 3, the last quarter by only 1 point, so 82-70. Let's look at the scores right now. So 2 days ago, I was actually pretty anxious about this game because Vietnam is the gold medalist in 3x3. They had the Truong twins right here, Kaylin and Kaylee. Okay, and then you had locals who were pretty solid as well, who were were pretty good shooters and rebounders as well. But I'm really, really happy. First, I'm happy to see that even if she was injured in a previous game against Indonesia, April Bernardino was healthy enough to play. But I honestly thought she would not play. But she played 10 minutes, 12 points for April. So good on her. I mean, 12 points in 10 minutes is ultra efficient. 6 rebounds as well. Very good numbers for April Bernardino right there. But, for me, it was really Jack and Imam who was kind of the star. She had a really great bounce back game. She struggled big time against Indonesia in her matchup with Kim Pierre-Louise. But here, 16 points, 13 rebounds, 14 assists, 60% from the floor. Okay, still struggled from the line at 4 out of 8, but bawing-bawi naman, no? With that great double-double, 16 points, 13 rebounds for Jack and Imam. Okay, then so many other ladies stepped up. As we said, Kate Castillo, 22 points in 23 minutes. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, but 7 threes for Kate Castillo. Absolutely amazing shooting from Kate Castillo. Honestly, I kind of wish we shot this well. We made 18 threes in this game, guys. 18 threes, 54% from beyond the arc. If we shot that well against Indonesia, of course we would have won pretty comfortably, but just was not the case, no? Camille Clarin also did well, 3 triples for her. Janine Pontejos, as expected, perfect from beyond the arc, 3 out of 3 for Janine. Andrea Tonko stepping up also, 3 out of 6 from beyond the arc for her. So it was just, a really, really good bounce back win for the Filipinas. Again, if I'm being completely honest, as I was watching this game, especially towards the end, I was kind of wishing, I wish we could have played or shot this well in the second half. Kahit second half lang, no? Of that game against Indonesia. But, no use crying over spilled milk. We just have to control what we can control, and that's to win our last few games. One against Vietnam, check. One against Thailand, check. We're going to take a look at the numbers in a bit. And then hopefully tomorrow, we win against Malaysia to secure that silver medal. So here, if you look at the numbers here, very quick, very simple analytics here. Plus 23 in terms of our rebounding against Vietnam. We were, of course, the much bigger team here. No? 3-point shooting, I mean, look at this. Really, maybe the single biggest difference maker in this game. Anytime your team hits 18 threes and you out-rebound the opponents, you should win comfortably, even if you have a lot of turnovers. But in this case, we also won the turnover battle, 16-12. For the analytics geeks, for the analytics geeks out there, you're probably aware of the 4 factors to winning, that are statistically, analytically accepted, no, by many, maybe not all, but many basketball analytics geeks. So of course, you have shooting, you have rebounding, um, you have turnovers. Okay, yung shooting kasi it's divided into into two sub factors, if I'm not mistaken. So the four factors, we had that in this game, and it was evident that we were just a better team, no? Against Vietnam. And again, that's kind of sana in a way that's how we played against Indonesia. But again, it's just a point of improvement moving forward. No? Now let's look at our numbers naman against Thailand. Okay, so again, the four factors are basically our field goal shooting, our free throw shooting, our turnovers, and our rebounds. That's oversimplifying the four factors. Okay, ano yan eh? It's a little bit more complicated than that, but those are the four generally analytically accepted factors to winning a basketball game, 5-on-5. Huh? Shooting from the field, getting to the line, and shooting well from the line, protecting the basketball, and getting as many possessions as possible through your rebounds. Okay? Now, we won over Thailand, double figures again. Not as lopsided as the win against Vietnam, but still pretty impressive to win over Thailand by 12 points. No? And first, let's look at the team stats. No? If you look at the team stats here, we had the lead pretty much almost the entire way, except for maybe the first few possessions of this game. All right. So field goal percentage, again, we shot so well from the field, especially from 2-point range. Medyo inalat tayo from 3, no? Only 5 out of 20. But we could live with that because even Thailand was not shooting very well from 3. Okay? We shot very well from inside the paint, though, 28 to 53. Free throws, we got to the line more than double the number of possessions that more than double the number of attempts that Thailand had. And that's good. Our free throw rate was very good. Okay, in terms of rebounding, we out-rebounded Thailand by 6. So again, very, very good. And then turnovers, we had more turnovers, which is maybe why this was closer than maybe it should have been. But that was offset by our good field goal percentage, our free throw rate, and our rebounding as well. So in terms of the four factors of winning, naka 3 out of 4 tayo na check. No? So which is good, and that's a big reason why we won by double digits against Thailand. Okay, and in this game, April Bernardino, again, super amazing. She was able to play again. And parang di siya na-injure, no? In that game against Indonesia. Because April, 18 points in 19 minutes. Again, ultra efficient for April. 9 out of 11 from the field. To go along with 5 boards, 4 assists, 2 steals. Unquestionably the MVP of this game in particular. No? Then we had a good start in this game also because we had those twin towers, no? Jack and Imam, Claire Castro. Claire didn't score a ton, but 10 points for Jack, only 2 for Claire. But rebounding wise, they did a lot of damage. 7 boards for Jack, 6 boards for Claire. Kay Castillo, again, shooting well from long range. 3 triples for her. Janine Pontejos with 2 triples. Okay, they're the only ones who actually hit triples for our team. Everyone else shot blanks from beyond the arc. But that, no problem. Bernardino was there to clean things up and just really lead the way for our team. Okay, so a good win for Gilas Women. And hopefully that will give them a lot more momentum against Malaysia tomorrow. Malaysia, of course, is going to be a strong opponent. Let's take a look at the results. No? So Malaysia opened their tournament with an overtime win over Cambodia. They beat Singapore by 36. They lost to Indonesia by 28 points. So it was the margin was wider than our loss to Indonesia. Okay, and then they beat Vietnam by only 4 points, huh? And we beat Vietnam, by 50 plus. So, we should be favored against Malaysia. Malaysia, however, bumawi. They beat Thailand by 16, and we beat Thailand by 12. So I think it's going to be, I think we're favored, but I don't think it's going to be a lopsided game against Malaysia. And remember, in 2022, no, in Hanoi, in the previous SEA Games, the Filipinas actually lost to Malaysia, also in the final game. So for Gilas Women and Coach Pat, there's a bit of a payback factor here. For Malaysia, they might be going into this game a bit confident and well rested because they did not play today. Today was their rest day. So in theory, they should be fresher for tomorrow against the Philippines. Whatever injuries they may have had, mas fresh dapat ang Malaysia tomorrow. So that could be a factor working against the Philippines tomorrow. Now moving on to the men's side, with the final standings for Group A, we have them already, no? Cambodia obviously sweeping the group, 3 wins and no losses. I mean, if you told me this would happen about 2-3 weeks ago, I would have said no way. But after we found out that Cambodia had a handful of either imports or Cambodian Americans, it's really not a big surprise they were able to do this. Philippines, second place at 2-1. Both teams are advancing, no, to the semifinals. We don't know yet sino kalaban natin in the semifinals because that will be determined by this game between Indonesia and Thailand. Although I'm willing to bet, okay, I'm willing to wager that Indonesia will beat Thailand in this game. Okay, so if that's the case, we will probably meet. Okay, this will probably be Indonesia right here at 6 p.m. Philippine time tomorrow, and Cambodia will face Thailand at 4 p.m. Philippine time tomorrow in the crossover knockout semifinal. So whoever wins here will go battle for the gold medal the following day, Tuesday, Manila time, May 16 at 4 p.m. Whoever will face, I think it will be tough for Gilas, no? One, because we're not playing 100%, and maybe they aren't playing 100% as well. But Calvin Aftan is not going to play. I think Justin Brownlee is still not 100%. So I think medyo dehado tayo against either Thailand or Indonesia as well. But before we get ahead of ourselves, we have to give props to our Gilas men for winning against Singapore by 60 points. Yesterday was a good win for the Filipinos, no, to bounce back in a big way against Singapore. Obviously, as the final score suggests, even the key stats were very lopsided. 56% from the field, 10 threes, 16 free throw attempts, so good free throw rate for our team. Still need to improve on that free throw percentage. Okay? Free throw rate is not free throw percentage. Iba yun, ha? Free throw rate is how often you get to the line relative to your field goals. Free throw percentage is how many free throws you actually make relative to your attempts. Okay? And then rebounds, we are plus 31. So again, no surprise we won by so much. We were also minus 5 in turnovers, which is a good thing. Anytime you have fewer turnovers on your opponents, again, it's very, very good. So, again, no surprise that Gilas men handily won against Singapore by 60 points. No? This is going to be our last easy game. Whether it's against Indonesia or Thailand tomorrow, that's going to be a tough game. And definitely when we face Cambodia in the finals again in a rematch, which is going to be a spicy rematch, that's going to be a very, 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 very tough game as well. Now, there is, of course, a chance that the Philippines actually, I think for the first time ever, but I have to check that. Let's check that right now. But worst case scenario is we don't finish at the podium or on the podium anywhere. Has that ever happened? Let's look at the history of the men's tournament. No? Obviously, in the women, it's happened. In men's, based on this Wikipedia page, Um, yeah, I don't think it's happened ever. No? So the Philippines has never finished outside of the top two. So we've never failed to make it to the gold medal game. But if we're being completely objective, one, we could miss the gold medal game for the first time ever, and two, we could miss the podium altogether for the first time ever. Because again, if we face whoever we face in the semifinals, objectively, medyo underdog tayo. And whoever we face, if we lose that, whoever we face in the bronze medal game, whether it's Cambodia, Indonesia, or Thailand, again, dihado rin tayo. So it's gonna be, again, objectively speaking to, so it's gonna be tough, no? You see here, the total number of SEA Games basketball tournaments we have is 21. How many medals does the Philippines have? 21. We've never not medaled in the SEA Games for men's 5-on-5 basketball. This year could be the first time it happens. I hope it doesn't, no? But if we're being completely objective, it could be. It could be. All right? So let's continue supporting Gilas Men and Women. Hopefully, the women's team will finish with silver medal, and hopefully Gilas will not miss the podium and will actually make it to the finals and will actually bring back the gold, no? Or reclaim the gold, as we are hoping that they would. All right, now if you like this topic, then you should like our future topics and discussions as well. We always spotlight data analytics, and if we can, some fan comments also. Our next episode drops tomorrow. Watch out for that. Mabuhay ang Philippine basketball. Mabuhay tayong lahat. Again, thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Mabuhay Basketball Podcast. We hope you enjoyed listening as much as we enjoyed creating it. So don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Also, feel free to leave a comment because we love that engagement. And who knows, maybe your comment might be featured next. You can also read my stuff on clutchpoints.com, Tiebreaker Times, and of course, FIBA.basketball. Follow me on Twitter at HoopNut or Instagram at TheHoopNut for more content and updates. Until next time, keep betting on yourself, shooting your shot, and seizing the moment. Mabuhay ang Philippine basketball.